here. So today I wanted to talk to y'all about what I feed my baby beast. She's getting ready to turn 6 months here on Thursday, on July 4th actually. And I started feeding her solids around, it was a little after 4 months. And it's funny because with my first child, with Ella, the recommendations were a little different. They recommended waiting till 5.5 months, and then this time they recommended between 4 and 6 months whenever you wanted to start solids. And Fern actually started to get fussy, it seemed like, in the evenings when we would feed her formula. It just seemed like she needed a little something more, that she was kind of still hungry. So we started solids, and it went surprisingly very well. And they always recommend that when you start solids, whatever you give them, like if you start with bananas one day, or even they recommend not to start with something sweet, something like a vegetable. You go 3 days and then you introduce something new, 3 days and then introduce something else new. And I can't do that. I know the signs of an allergy. I know, if there's a rash around the face or any other kind of symptoms, then they're pretty much allergic to it. And usually with food, it's pretty immediate. It's not, something's not going to occur. I honestly don't think, I could be wrong, 3 days later. But and my first child does have food allergies, so I kind of know what to expect. So with Fern, I would give her 1 or 2 items every couple of days and keep an eye on her and make sure that she was okay, which she was fine so far, no issues. So 4 to 6 months, you do things like pureed vegetables and pureed fruits. And then they said at 6 months you can actually start things like egg and tofu, really almost anything you wanted. And I don't know when I will start her on egg because my oldest is allergic to eggs, and we're actually going to go into the allergist in a couple of weeks, so I was going to talk to him about that and what he thinks about introducing things, since the recommendations keep changing. So anyway, but like what I wanted to do was just kind of show you what I feed my child, because I know whenever I would go into the pediatrician, they're like, okay, you can feed your baby solids, but they never really said how much do you feed them or what do you feed them. Just they're like pureed vegetables, pureed fruits, and go. So, and I remember thinking with the second one, I'm like, I've done this before, I should know what I'm doing. I didn't remember. I had not a clue as to like how much and when and what I was supposed to feed her. So it's all kind of, even though it's not been that long ago that I had baby number 1, it's very foggy. Very, very foggy. So what if you my baby? Formula. I was nursing Fern, and then there was a big fiasco, and so I had to stop. And I didn't necessarily want to stop, but it was the best thing at the time for me that I had to stop nursing. And it was unfortunate because with my first child, I was able to nurse all the way through a year. So that's a difference. So we actually had to feed formula. And the formula we have been using is the Similac Sensitive. And we didn't necessarily have to get the sensitive kind, but it's available. So I thought, why even bother? Maybe there might be a chance of the normal formula causing her an upset stomach. We'll just go ahead and do the sensitive kind, and hopefully, everything will be fine, which it was. This has been great. And if you actually go, if you go through your pediatrician's office, or even if you go to Similac's website, you can sign up, and they should be able to send you free samples and coupons. We get coupons, kind of like a rebate check every so often for $5 off. And at least in my area, I found that Target is the cheapest place to get the formula. And because that was new to us, like we never had to worry about price of milk and that kind of thing, because I never fed my first child formula. And this time, whole new ball game, how to get formula. So I did my research, and those coupons that we get every so often, they have really helped. And our pediatrician was very nice also, and because they use Similac in their office, and they gave me tons, I mean a ton of samples, like the big, not the biggest size, not this size that I showed, but like the little mini tins of formula, which was absolutely great. And I'm sure, you know, if you needed formula, your pediatrician could help you get started first. They always get samples and things. So now the next thing is the baby purees. I actually started her on, they have like first foods in the Gerbers, and that's the size that I started her on, but this is the same thing. It's just pureed fruits and vegetables. But what did I feed her first? I think the first thing I started on was carrots. And then I know I mentioned it just a little bit ago about they recommend us starting with super sweet things. I don't really have a problem with it, so I went ahead with both fruits and vegetables, just went ahead, and she doesn't seem to have a problem or prefer like fruits over vegetables. She just eats whatever. She's pretty easygoing, this one. But so in the morning, along with baby cereal and milk, we do one of these right now. It's what is it? It's 3.5 ounces. So she gets 3.5 ounces of a fruit, whichever kind. This is pears, but she gets a different fruit each morning. And then she gets, I forgot to grab it, but we use just the baby rice, the Gerber straight up baby rice. I think the kind that we get has the DHA, I think, in it. So that's what we use. We've been doing 3 tablespoons of rice with 2 ounces of formula every morning, and then the 3.5 ounces of pureed fruit. And that seems to actually really fill her up, and then she doesn't even have to have formula in the morning, so she can wait until lunchtime. And then at lunchtime, I will do half a pouch. This is the Ella's Kitchen. We like their pureed fruits and vegetables, especially in the pouches, because I find when we travel or if I'm out and about and you know, not going to be home to feed her, that the pouches are very handy, and they have these little spoons that you can get to attach on that open and close, or even it's super easy to squeeze the pouch out onto a spoon that you take with you. But this kind is pears, apples, and baby rice, and they have several variations with the baby rice or breakfast rice. So I usually will do one at like half of this pouch at lunch, and then she gets 6 ounces of formula. And then for dinner time, she'll do baby cereal again, and she'll get 3 tablespoons of rice with 2 ounces of formula again. Plus she will get, usually we'll do like a fruit and a vegetable, like half a fruit, half a vegetable, and then she'll get about 4 ounces of milk. And lately she will, sometimes she might take 2 ounces, sometimes only 1 ounce, sometimes full 4 ounces. It just kind of depends. She was going through a spurt recently, so she was drinking a lot more formula. And then in the evening, she'll do 2 evening bottles, usually around 6 ounces each of formula, and that seems to be her day, and that seems to keep her full and happy. It seems like it's working pretty well, because especially when I was feeding her formula, I was very nervous. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how much you're supposed to give them, and I was very nervous that I was going to feed her too much. And I know I call her a baby beast, but she's fine weight-wise. She is in a little bit of a higher percentile than I was used to with Ella, but she's not, it's not abnormal, it's not like danger zone or anything like that. She's fine. And I also did want to mention another brand of the pouches that I like. Like I said, these are the Ella's. The other brand of pouches I like are the Plum. And all these pouches I just got at Target. They have, at least our Target here actually has a great selection of the pouches. And you can find a pretty good variety. This is one of our favorites. It's broccoli, pears, and peas. And then I've started her a little bit on a snack, the baby Mum-Mums. I've only given her like maybe 1 or 2 of the little rice rusks. These are great though. They dissolve very quickly, so you don't have to worry about them chewing up or not chewing them enough, and then they end up getting choked on them. You don't have to worry about it all. They just dissolve. And she likes to make a big mushy mess with these. But I have these with Ella, and she absolutely loved them. And I have no problem, you know, giving them to my kids. So, but Fern seems to like them so far. And she hasn't got the pincher motion yet, so I haven't given her like the little like cereal yet, or there's the little puffs, like they have the vegetable puffs, or sometimes they have the fruit puffs. She hasn't got that graspy motion down, so I haven't felt comfortable enough to give her those yet. And then I was going to ask our pediatrician when we go in for her 6-month checkup, you know, again, like what kind of things we can give her, and we'll see. But like I said before, they just kind of tell you, oh, you can just do this and just go, and you have no idea. So I just wanted to share with you like what I feed my child, because I know it's kind of interesting to see what other people do. I know everybody's different, and what they feed the child is different, but I just kind of like to see, and by no means that I'm saying this is the way it has to be or anything like that. I just wanted to share what I do. So hopefully that was helpful, or at least interesting, and until I talk to you next time, take care.